Hello, good evening, scribes, fam. The 4th of the 4th, 19, allegedly, year of our Lord. Ciao bello, hello. Let me check. Everything's as it should be. Yes, it is. Some strange events are going off. Know this. Unexplainable, unexpected, to say the least. Right, we're going to give you an update, news update, updates, many and various. I'm just going to the casting place, so a short little walk. The camera's off. It's a secret casting place. It's well protected. Know this. What else can I tell you whilst we are moving up? Just be patient. It's worth the wait. Take a look at the title. Open up some of the hyperlinks that I've put in the description there. Excuse me. Let me know if the sound is good. Not right now. It's windy. But yeah, other than that, is it glorious sovereign stereo that I'm coming through in? Location has been reached. All right then, Famalan. Put you here. We're going to start with some good news. We've had an email from somebody at a court about our Kevin. So kudos to brother Kevin. And I'm going to like to read out what's been said. Now, we do bring to you how we operate, what we do, how we do it, why we do it. So, agents, advisory service, not at all. We are, agents, yes. Advice, no. We operate in the private, we operate in forming, and we operate in law. Now, brother Kevin, he's got his own story to bring. We'll be having a hangout on Sunday. If you look at Indie channel, you'll see there's a hangout lined up for 8 PM on Sunday. We'll get Kevin on. He can elaborate more for those of you that don't already know his past progression, history, pathway, etc. So with that said, I'm going to read you something that's made me extremely proud, happy, excited, and put a big smile on my boat race, let me tell you. Okay, let me just check the Indiglo comments. How is the sound? Comments, Vendetta, and Mark. Yes, I. The 3 kings. Maybe a queen and 2 kings, I don't know. Righto, quality. So it's it's an ongoing case, so I need to be careful about what I say here for obvious reasons. But what I will say is this. Email's popped in. It's about Kevin. He's been to a court. He's helping a brother, as we do, as the SPL's pro.com Famalan agents that we are in our private capacity are able and willing to do, and this email has come from somebody whose position is a Papa Sierra uniform, duty kind of officer, voluntary. Okay, they're not paid. They're in the court, so just setting who it's from. All right, it's not like a judge has emailed or anybody that's on the payroll, line manager, court manager, anybody from the court in itself. When I say court, I use the term loosely. All right, not the bar, temple, any of the gang. A volunteer, PSU duty, not an officer as sorts, but yeah, an officer, a volunteer officer working at the courts there. Public support unit officer. When I say that, okay. So he's initially introduced himself to Kevin and Mr. X, who Kevin's with, at the court, and said there are various services available. Duty, solicitor, took them through procedures and, holds your hand, and then leads you down to the courtroom. So, yeah, I'll be brief with that. Just set the scene for you. And this man is also called David, we're allowed to say. Yes, all right, not the court, not the man that Kevin's helping. And David's sent an email to Kevin because whilst Kevin was at the venue, the private, defunct, non-de jure, arbitrary trading bonds without securities, aka courthouse, yes, it's just whilst he was there, he has explained to this gentleman, David, what he does. He may have been wearing Sovereign Paralegals t-shirt or hoodie, I believe he said, one of the either or, and he explained to this David PSU courtman what he was doing, where he's from, what he stands for, what the gentleman he's with, the brother he's with, stands for. And yeah, I'm going to read now the email to you, and I've set everything out right. Dear Kevin, I was glad to meet you and Mr. X at court the other day when I was doing my PSU duty. It is fascinating to learn a bit about Sovereign Paralegals, SPLspro.com, and whether you're supporting people who go to court without representation or representation is part of your community, ethics and ethos. His career, David's career, so that's, yes, it is. We need benefactors. We would like to do this full time. Andy, I, and brother Kevin, yes, we would, but we can't. The system won't let us until we work out a way that's mutually beneficial for all. The ones we represent, slight little accent there for you. So we'll look. Yeah, we are looking into that this year. Don't you worry about that, Famalan. We are doing it and testing out a few areas of the civil judicial realms, paperwork, state standing capacities. We're doing things, as you can see, and testing it out, putting our money where our mouth is. So that's interesting. Yeah, whether or not we're supporting people who go to court without representation is part of your community. No, but it is going to be very fast. My career, David's career, was in probation. And when he stopped work, the PSU seemed an appropriate place to do voluntary work, given his familiarity with attending court, etc. David would be interested to learn more about how you work with the law and the courts, which you did that day with such flair and confidence. Full stop. I have not often seen a judge so elegantly flummoxed as she was then, granting you your and I thought the duty solicitor was also great. To think you nearly decided blah blah blah. I see on the website there are links to the info. He's been a bit nervous about joining up the family, as about entering on any alternative reality, so he'd be grateful if we could tell him a little bit more, or perhaps he wants to meet up for a coffee and discussion. With best wishes from brother David. Hey, that is fantastic, Kevin. I told you, you are a living legend. You have taken what's been presented before you, you've cognized it, you've gone away, you've done your due diligence, research, study, application, you've gone back and you've used it, you've had a success, you've come back, you've relayed it, we've done it repeatedly before we outlaid the news. And this man also helped me on another case, and then while I was going around in circles with DWP and NHS complaints managers, executives and principals of the NHS Trust, and yeah, it's just a farce. So, brother Kevin, this is your moment, your time to shine. You're having it Sunday anyway. This is just to my tube scribes and family to let you know that little bit there. So we start with the good news, as always, a little bit of something light for you to charge you up, give you a little boost for getting through the rest of the day. What else have I got for you link wise then? So now we're going to talk about adoption and open nest. If you search on DuckDuckGo or anything other than Pooble and look for open nest, well, the links that I've put in there will take you to opennest.com website, or a story. Let me see, BBC News stories. And then Yorkshire Post, UK News, adoptive mum creates a haven for families. So we go for Yeah, because they're all from different sources. One of them is the BBC. I'm not promoting them in any way. I just like to keep mainstream, downstream, upstream, side stream, all streams, you know. So I want to talk to you about something quite horrendous. If here in this landmass, England and Wales, what you reside on, if you get your property, that would be your blood and your children, and you give them up for adoption, you're currently utilising that in the United Kingdom. The United Kingdom's social support and care units do operate a guardianship service. Now, they often, sometimes, can do all of the above, envisage danger coming to property, and they will run a report. You may be pregnant with a secondary child, you may be pregnant with your first child, and you may have had mental health issues before. Either which, or we've seen them all. We're not all, but we've seen a lot. I'll rephrase that. We haven't seen them all. No, man could never see all of what this machine spits out and chooses to use. You couldn't make it up. So, yeah, we've seen a horrendous amount of women, mainly, going and contemplating and coming out with stories of adoption, state coming in for guardianship with concern and making it a forced adoption. Now, there's a lot here. I'm going to gloss over all of that, and we're going to carry on. And if you adopt and you get willfully or unwillingly, I need to check all of this. I'm not up to this in depth, so you will need to check everything I say, but this is spoken in a paraphrased, general, you know, just listen. The adopted parent, there's the new parents that are taking the property, the child. Yeah, they can sometimes deny the blood parent access to that and deny the parent to have access at all with the original DNA blood parents. Now, whether that's a decision that parent makes when, you know, the blood parent, the mum, dad makes or not, it's horrendous that in itself being denied rights. Legally, you're denied, not lawfully, because law trumps legal. So it's very, very dodgy how all this is working. But the government and the social services and CAFCAS, the Court and Family Court Appeal Service, something like that. Yeah, CAFCAS. They do a job, and they are there to work on the behalf of, and they are not there to instruct and tell and to make stuff up and you know, things that aren't likely to happen but may happen, but they've got a concern with, so they step in. It's quite grey, this area. But then when they step in and take care, let's face it, have they got an unblemished clean record, would you say, for taking care of our assets? Whether it be voluntary or non-voluntary adoption, forced or non-forced, yeah? Have they got an unblemished record? I don't think so. So we, man, in law, have got a concern about you, public servants, well, we'd say agents and trustees now, moved from the civil to the private, working in the public, yeah, as your private corporation under the rules and contracts of the United Kingdom, articles and associations, human rights, legal. Yeah, there's a lot in the mix here, but ultimately, law is at the top. Now, the law is being ignored. The law is an ass. No, the law is not an ass. The legal codes and public system is an absolute mockery of you, my family, and scribes. You are worth more than that. You deserve more than that. Now, your blood, your family, and your assets, you know, man here has got an issue with the state because of my forced parental alienation and such things as ignorance of my rights, court interjection for access. So I'm just going to breathe. I've learned that might be some tobacco smoke, but either way, it's a breath. Not necessarily a great one. So let that sink in a minute while I've said. Get your comments up. So great, if we had a system that intervened, and it intervened well, and it didn't have any blemishes on its record, and it was 100, 99, 95, we'd even settle for 90, wouldn't we, fam? We're not that, you know. We'd have a look at it, like the care homes, like the abuse there, with the elderly, and the beatings, and the sexual abuse. Absolutely, you couldn't make this up. So therefore, there's an urgent need, not just for judicial, from our David there at PSU in the courts, bigging up Brother Kev, but there's a need for us to expand now. Last year, 10 years ago, 40 years ago, the fact that man doesn't know about his rights and property, if he did, if they did, our family, your scribes family, the scribes family, scribes of scribes family, then this wouldn't happen. We'd manage it ourselves, and we'd be appointing and instructing them, not listening to instructions from them taking and managing it with the full authority which they've got through non-disclosure. You'd argue then it all gets dissolved. Massive. Not just mortgages that we're breaking out at the weekend, and the indemnification that you can get from X, Y, and Z using, claims of two. We get that up again. Kevin's going to take his time to shine there. I believe he's got about 6 pages to read to you. Not only have we used Professor Werner, Michael Albanese, outlet sources, RT, yeah, these are all irrefutable, provable, substance over form. I am going to message Michael. We're working on trying to get him on, and both of the Michaels, should I say. God bless you, brothers, if ever you hear this or my voice and you get out with this. We love you. Thank you. Amazing. I have left Facebook, but I'm on there in a fashion. It will be SPL's Pro and Sovereign Jeremita that contact you. And yeah, we're looking to try and get these boys, brothers, on for a short time if we can, just to hear it from the horse's mouth. You can watch RT News, you can check Professor Werner out. So not only are we doing the mortgages and breaking out, we aren't doing them. We are sorry everybody, because I get accused nowadays. We are helping to promote and guide and represent and structure and format and bring to you, and all of this. Yes, it is our pleasure. We're not just doing it in one area, we're doing it in lots, and we're breaching over to criminal now. Okay, we're going from civil and administrative error and omission to actual crimes against man in a heinous capacity. Very heinous. All right, so I haven't even read anything yet. Wow, this is time to read. So with that set up there, we're going to read about, I ran away to France to keep my baby. One of the links, it's not my story, it's from Radio 4 that I heard it on, and then it's from the BBC ultimately, which is linked there. Fair use is applied under the United Kingdom. Things are getting really weird at the minute, so shills, trolls, Google, whoever you are, hassling me, cutting connections, this is news reporting. I'm allowed to do it. Freedom of speech. It's in public interest, and there are crimes against man. I've sourced the BBC. Anything else I need to do, please email me or let me know, of which I'm sure you will. I'm telling you, it's getting a bit thin now. We really are making, some waves. So every year, a number of pregnant women flee the UK in an attempt to stop their babies being taken into care. In 2015, Zara was one of them. With her baby due in days, she packed a small bag and left everything behind. But once she had crossed the channel, things went badly wrong. Now, let's just pause on that a minute. What and what? Why? Who? What? Why? When? How? Where? Why would you do that in 2015? Did it not say there? Yeah. Right, we'll continue on. There's a photograph of Zara in a garden in France holding her passport in front of her huge belly. She's looking proud. The passport signifies freedom. She has taken back control, and soon she will be able to give birth to a child that she's hoping she'll be allowed to keep. A week earlier, Zara had been sitting in her living room in England. Well, United Kingdom, then you'd argue, wouldn't you? Because they've just said she left the UK, but then the second paragraph's got England in it. But yeah, she was in England physically, but residing legally in the United Kingdom. So she'd been sitting in a living room in England, scouring the internet. 37 weeks pregnant, and she had begun to doubt that social services would allow her to keep her baby. Her plan had been to work with them this time to convince them she was capable of being a mother, but they had not given her a yes or a no, and the baby was about to arrive. Just let's put a pin in that a minute and just take a breath. I can't believe the shit I read these days. Zara was already well known to social services. Oh, was she now? She was well known. So there's your previous, all right, you've got form. Her first child had been taken into care when she was 16. So she was a child herself, arguably. She wasn't even 18, yeah, of legal age, at a time when she was suicidal. She says she'd been asked to leave her foster home. Her second child was taken 2 years later while she was in an abusive relationship with an older man. Removal is just like losing a child. You feel compelled to be a mother. God Lord. And there's a child-shaped hole in your heart that needs filling, she says. That's just killed me. I never really recovered. Find out more. Listen to Zara, not her real name, telling her story on Woman's Hour at 10 o'clock on Radio 4, followed by a discussion. That's where I heard it then today. You can catch up online or download it. Right, so that's where I'm getting it from. When I was travelling around doing my tradesman business in a private capacity today, I had to take a minute and actually punch the steering wheel. A few years had elapsed before she became pregnant with her third child, and this one she thought she might be allowed to keep. When I became pregnant for the third time, it was a new beginning. I thought it was okay to move on and start again. It is. You're right. It is. You are right in that. And I was living in hope, Zara says. I wanted to be the mum I was never allowed to be because of abusive relationships and my volatile family situation. I was being told the only solution was to leave the country now. She hadn't told her family. That was probably on media, Facebook and so forth, yeah? And she's asked for help. She hadn't told her family about the pregnancy. The only people she felt she could speak to were strangers online, hundreds of them in Facebook groups set up to allow people to vent, support and advise. Well, I'd argue about that, inform each other on social services and child removal. These strangers fueled Zara's anxieties and made her situation seem hopeless. There you go, danger of Facebook. Yeah, it's clearly got Facebook in there. Facebook is being used as a weapon. It's being weaponized right before your eyes. Um, I was being told that my child would be removed and the only solution was to leave the country and leave now, she says. So when Zara was invited by a British woman in one of the Facebook groups to stay with her in France outside the UK, I know what you're thinking, scribes, bear with me, outside the UK jurisdiction, she seized the chance. She offered me a job and accommodation and sold me a new life, she says. A woman with a baby who's pregnant and having birth in the 3 days has just decided to meet a stranger on Facebook and go across the channel and go and live with her. You think once for yourself and once for your baby, so you think twice there, but she's desperate. She thinks that it's going to be taken away or she might not have it. She's been in the system before, so she legged it. Oh, within 4 hours, Zara was in London taking a seat on a Eurostar train. She had only a small bag. She packed with things for her baby, stuffed enough underwear in to last a week and found space for one change of clothes. That tells you that woman's not is thinking clearly. She's panicked, she's in anxiety, she's mixed up, she's desperate, and she's had to leg it to another country and put herself and her baby in danger because of a failure of what? Of a knowledge base, yeah, and of what we're in now. It was absolutely mental and horrible. My heart was pounding and my head was a mess, she says. I don't understand what I was doing. It was robotic. Pack, book, my ticket, check, double check. Up until then, I was fighting to keep my baby in the UK, but then there was a shift. It was a huge, drastic, frightening and life-changing. Well, that's what happens when you speak to strangers on Facebook, with all due respect, or strangers on any media platform for that matter, including this one we're on now and myself. I didn't understand what I was doing up until then. Yeah. After accepting the woman's invitation and booking her ticket, she was advised to contact a man called Ian Josephs, once a councillor in the UK, now a wealthy resident of Monaco. He runs a website where he campaigns against forced adoptions. He offers advice to people dealing with social services or the family courts, CAFCAS and so forth. He also sometimes provides financial help to families who run from the UK to countries such as France, Cyprus, Ireland and Spain. And for many, this makes him a hero. Testimonials on his website thank him for this assistance. Tube, we need to check that out, all right? I know you're on it. I've got lots to do. We need help. Will you check them details, please, and get me what we need? He said he would reimburse Zara's travel costs if she showed him proof of social services involvement, travel receipts and evidence of, he sounds like a saint to be fair, and evidence of her pregnancy. The money would be transferred once she was in France. Well, I'd say she needs it now, so she's got it, so she knows she's not going to be stranded when she gets to France. But by the by, it is what it is. The woman locked the door behind us and took the key out of the door, is in bold letters in brackets here. When Zara arrived at Paris Gare du Nord station, the woman she had met online, Facebook group, was there to greet her. It turned out she was pregnant too. They hugged as though they were old friends. It was the height of the summer and they set off on a long journey along country roads. The car came to a halt. They stopped in the middle of nowhere. She thought they were taking a break, but was told that the barn in front of her was a new home. There was one small bedroom with a bunk bed that was occupied by another heavily pregnant British woman called Kelly. On the journey from the station, Zara had been told she was lazy and always needed to be shouted at. I was allocated one of the two sofa beds in the living room cum second bedroom. The woman was also expecting her partner and 2-year-old daughter would be her roommates, all of them sharing the other sofa bed. Zara was shocked. She felt extremely vulnerable. She still hoped for the best, but was intimidated. She's gave the woman a passport. I'm not going to read anymore, but she's left the country and she's gone and been put in danger. Had a passport taken off her, given this other woman money, and what for? Because of the fear and intimidation that we all live in. Now, like we saw in April with baby Alfie and ohhhho, yes, we tried to promote what we know and how we can protect them and what you have to protect you and your family. So along with mortgages, we don't like our blood being stolen and getting lost and meddled with and interfered with, yeah? And if they're going to try and say they, the elite, the system, the Club of Rome, whatever you want to call it, we've pointed it out clearly who they are. There are many of them under the guises of. Now, if they want to install systems of a legal aperture and say that this is the way that we will safeguard, that's because allegedly we're ignorant and can't do it ourselves. Well, I put a notice out here now, testamentary notice from I, man, David, under God, yes, lawful. We promise our very, very, very best to take better care than the present trustees, agents, executives and principals. We know on our heart we can do a better job. I know that these scribes that I've never met, some of them I've met, but most I haven't, on my channel, 3,150 of them, yes, would all do a better job without me checking them. I'd just, we'd make agreements, and what's going off here is clearly a joke. It's insulting, and the fact that we don't know how to tell them and hold them to account and instruct, wish, compel, the ways that we do it is to our detriment, and it's to our blood's detriment. So vulnerable women, non-compos mentis, already legally handicapped from birth, not knowing who they are, what their rights are, don't stand a chance. So Smithy, I, Kevin, Josh, I know we'll take the challenge and we'll involve you as well. Children, you'd argue, are more important than mortgages, Dave. Yes, I hear you. They are. That's why this one comes first. Before anybody even says finance, yeah? The blood comes first, fam. Oh, I've got loads to give you today. And we've got loads to come. I'm so happy. Things are going very fast, all right? And they're not going fast for anybody else. I don't know, but we're coping. Now, we're going to look at a Yorkshire Post news article. Thank you, Yorkshire Post. By my accent, I'm a Yorkshire tea drinking man. Hey up. I do promote where we go and what we get. So yes, thank you for this. I have registered on your site, and you will find I will be there looking at the stories and accepting your cookies policy and helping to promote under UK fair usage, news and reporting, under law, under God. It doesn't get more serious than that. So this adoptive mum creates a haven for families. She's called Amanda Borman. She's adopted a daughter called Jazz. She struggled to find support. She had decided to set up her own haven. Notice that word she's chosen, a haven. Haven from what? From whom? Now she is organising a conference for adopters. And Nikki Soloway reports. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you, Amanda. Thank you, David. Thank you, scribers. Let's go. With its 1950s caravans, antique furniture and quirky second-hand finds, La Rosa campsite in the North York Moors, York, not Yorkshire, York, would be a dream holiday for most children. Surrounded by fields and forests, it has a playful feel. Sounds like this Sovereign Park we're going to be camp thing we're setting up. Look, there's a new top bath in the roll top bath in the orchard, a gramophone player in the shower block, and a mini caravan tuck shop filled with jars of old-fashioned sweets. It's the sort of place Amanda Borman, who runs La Rosa with her friend Claudia Miret, would have wanted to bring her own daughter to for holidays. When Amanda adopted Jazz 15 years ago, no one really spoke about attachment disorder, but it was a term that Amanda would become all too familiar with. Early experiences of being removed from her birth parents 10 times and being sent to, 10 times, and being sent to different foster carers, often in the middle of the night. Wow, see, they don't give a rat's ass, no emotion, no care. We'll move you at 1 in the morning, who cares? That had left Jazz with severe attachment disorder. So there's an admission about the system leaving somebody, her admission, not mine, with attachment disorder. The fiery 5-year-old tested Amanda to the very limit. Now Amanda, 51, has set up a charity, the Open Nest. This is what's intrigued me. We're setting up trusts, but this is a charity, still very relevant, Nest, to help other adoptive families access the support they need. They are obtaining free short breaks, offering free short breaks to adoptive families. It's for families who are on the brink, says Amanda again. So why is a charity stepping in for the ones that we employ and pay to do our effing job? Yeah. It's for families on the brink, says Amanda. The charity was born from personal experience. We want to help others who are facing similar struggles. The charity is also organising its first conference in York on Saturday. I don't have a date, and will draw attention to the issues facing adoptive parents, a pair that rent the property. A single mum, Amanda, struggled to get the support she needed when Jazz was young. She lived in a small village near York, worked part-time in a bookshop, caring for Jazz, soon became a full-time job. She had to give it all up and ended up with no job, no money, and having to remortgage her house. The village, which had seemed like a perfect place to bring up a child, also became quite isolating. Jazz was an unusual child, and some were uncomfortable with her behaviour. She would scream and shout, and she was sent home from school. She moved to York, where she thought she would receive more support. Jazz was expelled. Amanda, who was trained as a social worker, battled with social services to get her daughter some therapeutic help. We went through hell and back. This is in brackets. This is a quotation now. We went through hell and back, and it was only because of my resilience and the group effort that we got through it. She says Amanda also applied to adopt Jazz's brother, Justin, who was in a children's home also, but was told by a child psychologist that the siblings should not be cared for in the same home. What? After a 6-year wait, Claudia stepped in and fostered Justin just so the siblings could see one another. Bomb shanker. You see again there, just see the twistedness of it all. Why? Who? Let's ask the children, the assets, the sons and daughters. I'm going to stop reading there. The rest of it's in there for you. Do you get my drift? Do you see what we are missing here? Do you see what we should be doing, what we aren't doing, and what is being done? And this is yesterday's news, to be fair. I didn't have time yesterday to bring you this. Hillsborough's in the title, as you can tell, and as you know, I am an old Sheffield man. I used to reside there for a time, and CPS are to seek David Duckingfield Hillsborough retrial after no verdict. So this one is coming from Mersey Mash. I've gone to merseymash.com. Thank you, Mersey Mash. The link's in the description. I've named you, I've took you there. It's all reporting for. This is something near and dear to me. I personally know families and mans affected by this. 89 was it? Very young when I saw this. I couldn't believe it was allowed to happen, and I was just a teenager at the time. Wasn't into football, but when I saw the coverage I was like, what? So the Crown Prosecution Service is to seek a retrial for David Duckingfield into his role in the Hillsborough tragedy. Mr. Duckingfield, well, I'd say David, but there you go, faced a charge of gross negligence. So they're obviously going after the way that they're doing it, look, yeah, manslaughter. But after a 10-week trial, a jury failed to reach a decision. Lawyers for the former chief superintendent, who had denied the charge, said they would apply for a stay of proceedings to prevent another trial going ahead. Remember, we've talked about stay of proceedings before. Take note, legals, lawful scribes, stay of proceedings to prevent another trial going ahead. During the same 10-week trial, ex-Sheffield Wednesday club secretary Graham Mackrell was found guilty of breaching health and safety regulations. A majority of 10 to 2 convicted. A majority of 10 to 2 convicted Mr. Mackrell, 69, of failing to discharge his duty failing to discharge their duties. Don't worry, we're coming for these lot who are failing to discharge their duties once we give them the correct duties. So yeah, under the Health and Safety at Work Act, he is to be sentenced on May the 13th. He was accused of failing to take reasonable care to ensure that there were enough turnstiles to prevent the build-up of large crowds. The court heard there was only 7 turnstiles for the 10,100 Liverpool fans who had standing tickets for the match against Nottingham Forest. After 29 hours of deliberations, the jury failed to reach a verdict on whether Mr. Duckingfield was guilty or not. Guilty of gross negligence, manslaughter of 95 mans. It says people there, but we'll just say RIP. I'll just take a moment and say we're sorry and our hearts go out. I've actually shed a tear with family members and others about this. Horrific, horrendous. The main thing is that we learn from it. It's not so much about making man's pay, that we identify who's responsible, where the failings were, and moving on and not letting it happen again. And the media frenzy, lest we not forget that Liverpool, bless them, have boycotted the Sun, sorry, mispronunciation there. Yeah, because of the what? Because they jazzed up, they sexed up. They may have, blamed and the reports that were put out about whose fault it was, how the system looked like it was covering up a massive liability, murder. We would call it murder down on the streets. They call it murder. Da, da, da. You know what I mean? Here's some Marley in the house there, because that's what we call it on the streets. Man on pond streets be calling it murder. All right. Brunei, Sultan, he's getting old. Wow. These guys allegedly play polo with the monarchy. That's why this is getting put out there. So Brunei's law mandating stoning to death of gays and adulterers to come into force next week. All right, listen to that. So his law, so we say Brunei's law is mandating stoning to death. That's not getting stoned to death by weed, UK Anglo scribes. That's actually like Life of Brian and everything. Stone him. I'll have a packet of gravel. Packet of gravel. Yes. Packet of gravel. But all women dressed up as men. Absolute piss take, that is. I hate you, Monty Python. I hate you, John Cleese. What you've done, how you put that, it's just disgusting. Crucifixion. No, freedom, actually. Oh, freedom's this way. No, joking, crucifixion. Let me burden. Here, brother, let me carry that cross for you. Oh, thank you. Yes, here you go, Father, carry my cross. And then later on, a Roman comes up and goes, Father, get into line. Carry that cross upright. He's like, oh, it's not my cross. I'm just holding it for somebody. Yes, yes, that's what they all say. Absolute mockery. Disgusting. The world's greatest story with prolific connotations in there for us to learn from. Belittled by them. So yeah, law mandating, it's not law, yeah, Brunei's law mandating stoning to death, because it's putting it in now. If it was law, it would already be in under God. Yeah, so it's been introduced now, stoning to death of gays and adulterers to come into force next week. 28th of March 2019, it's reported from RT News. We love you, RT. Thank you for another excellent news story. You know, a harsher version of a penal code. Penal, penis, penalty. Yes, we've explained where this comes from. Obelisks, erections, oval offices, yeah, Washington's, DC's. So a harsher version of penal code, which includes Sharia-based punishments for things like adultery and same-sex relations. It's to come into force next week in Brunei. The human rights defenders in Washington, however, are silent. Hey, Brunei, a tiny Muslim majority absolute monarchy located in southeastern Asia, is about to put into force, F-O-R-C-E, as in use the force, as in the force of law, the force. All right. The last amendment to its criminal code, that's not law then. What are you doing here? Changing your words again in your story. But not RT, but you know how the establishment puts it. Forced the last amendments to its criminal code as part of a reform initiated back in 2014. The renewed code, which is aimed at reflecting Islam's tenets of morality and punishment for those who break them, will include caning and even stoning to death of Muslims who are found guilty of adultery, sodomy, and rape. Brunei's plan to stone gays roils UN. The government wanted to roll in the new laws in stages, but the process is on pause after international public outcry over the milder phase 1, which included fines and jail terms for offenders but not corporal punishment. Last week, a rights group reported that Brunei quietly announced earlier this year the date when the harsher version of the code would come into force, April the 3rd. We are trying to get pressure placed on the government of Brunei, but we realise there is a very short time frame until the laws take effect. They ain't laws. This man's getting old. He's nearly 70, or he's there about 70. Man's going to be passing upwards soon, and he's feeling a bit guilty, so he's going, oh yeah, I'll try and help Allah, and I'll please Allah and the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. And what I'll do is I'll put these codes in, and I'll call them laws, and I'll put them in by force, and anybody who does this now, X, Y, and Z, is no, well, it's shallow, very shallow, and I'm not going to comment any further on any of this, but Matthew Wolf, an Australia-based founder of the group The Brunei Project, told Reuters it took us by surprise that the government has now given a date and is rushing through implementation. Homosexuality was outlawed in Brunei even before 2014 reform, and in fact since colonial times, with jail sentence of up to 10 years possible. If its government goes ahead with the plan, the nation will become the first in Asia to allow punishing gay people by death. Oof. At the moment, only a handful of nations like Afghanistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia and Yemen have such provisions in their law. Now, there's a story in the Bible, scribes. I'm stopping that. That's enough. It's making me angry. And it says that there's loads of men around a woman, and they're all giving this woman loads of shit because she's a whore, she's a Jezebel, she's a charlatan. Charlotte, harlot, there we go. And apparently, allegedly, Jesus walks up. If you can name this chapter and verse, and you truly are a wise scribe. And he says, what's going on here then? And just like that. And they all say, this woman here, she's been cheating, she's this, that, the other, she's no good, she's a whore, blah, blah, blah. 20 men of X, Y, and Z, and we aren't happy, so we're going to sort her right out. We're going to make a right, meal of it. And Jesus went, well, let he who has committed no sin cast the first stone. And all the men looked at each other, and they all walked off, because all of them had committed sin. All of them. So none of them had the right to cast a stone. That allegedly left Jesus, there with the lady. And he says, now then, love, he says, I've just saved your ass there. Just saved your bacon. I am Friar Bacon, and I've saved your bacon. Big up, Sovereign B. And he says, listen, you don't need judgment. No man can judge another man. The Creator will judge you at your time. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to show these chimps how things roll. He said, so, are you going to do this again? Do you think you might want to change your ways, love? Because you don't want to get caught in a scrape like that again, do you? And she went, no, I don't, allegedly. And off they went, and there you go. So, Sultan of Brunei. You got clean hands, brother? My question to you, when you're a man under God, you're a man under the big G. We've got these little G's running around, and we've got these monarchies running around. So, yeah, interesting. Disgusting. Men against women. As I've said before, pale, stale, male. Yeah, I prove my point. I rest my case. I'm going to read your comments, and we're signing off. So that's about, I realise it's fast, condensed. Yeah. To the point. I've on purposely gone off camera and not looked at the comments. I'm sickened. I am sickened. All right. That's all I can say. We've got good news coming. So luckily we're getting a bit of a poo sandwich for your scribes. You're going on a bit of a roller coaster ride with Indy and the fam, the SPLspro.com crew, team, fam, agents, brothers, sisters. There's much more to be done. We're in no means biased. By no means are we in a safer area. That's what happens when you do a full day. I've had a bad day today in the tradesman outfit. It's been a bit of a trying day. There's a lot going on, family, personal, private things, and this. Bear with me. We carry a lot of pain. Thank you for listening, those that have stayed in. It means a lot to us, what you do, sharing, caring, promoting. It's not about money. It's far from it. We've explained why and how it is and what it should be. It's not our fault. Most don't know. why we push and how we push this. So the emails I haven't answered, you will get an answer to, and the notifications on the .com, you will get an answer to. We are working in the background on too many things at once. I am going to structure this once and for all, and increase it. We are going to include everybody and anybody who wants including. Nobody is to be left out. The sons and daughters are foremost, the blood and the protection, then our protection, and then we go about correcting the fraudsters, actors that are out there on the world stage. We're going to go out on the world stage as the Matrix, though, and that kind of mentality. So thank you all. We are in a game here. It's not funny to say monopoly, all right, of our rights and our existence and our liberties, our freedoms, and we've pointed out to you who runs it and how. It's not by any means a game as such, like a board game, but if you play on and you have faith and you do not run away, point, right, looping back, pinning everything, lady that run away, pregnant to France, danger, stranger, all of that, do not, she said it, quoting her, and I echoed it in the car, and I shouted a swear word, F-U-C-K, yeah. And I just said, yes. She said, not to run away from your problems. What's the moral of the story? Face them. Yeah, so you face your problems. And if you face your problems, scribes and fam, and new scribes, you get rewarded, believe it or not. You will tackle it. In life, right? Let me get a bit of tea. In life, wait, it's going. In life, you get in scrapes, and sometimes you think you'll never get out of it, and you're quite isolated, and you haven't got many to call upon, and you've only got yourself. All right, I've been there, and a lot of you have been there, and some of you are there now, and you are thinking, "Shizen, I'm not getting out of this. I've really, hit a wall. I can't see a way forward." But we always get out of it. We always scrape through. The game, it reads you. It's like you've agreed to play this game when we were reincarnate into this physical, ethereal, temporal existence, and you've set the rules of the game, and you've set them hard, and when you've got in the game, you've got deleted your memory. You don't know before, but we've got these DNA memories, so you've got instinct and intuition and duality and dominion, synchronicities is what I was thinking, not dominion, and we learn to read it, and it interacts with us, and it's designed to keep us low. It's designed to stress you out. That's why Murphy's Law's there. We are the law masters. Murphy's Law, we love you. You have had fun with us, and we are now turning the tables. Thank the crown upside down, the spiky top bits going down, and the flat bit from the other bits going up, and we're creating a level playing field. But this game, this life, trust me when I tell you this. This is what we have. Trust. It will come about, and it does get better. You are a magnet, and you attract crap, or you attract positivity. You need to change your vibration. We need to stop running away from the problems, and we need to face it. We need to pull together as a family, and we need to keep reporting these heinous, disgusting, unbelievable. I can't believe that I'm part of this system, that I am allowed to politely be calm and have to abide by the system, when I'm not even in it. I'm out of it. I'm in law and out legal. Your codes and all of your crap and everything else, we're putting documents on the .com to rebut, rescind, regain control, status, standing, capacity. We've brought to you, we put the documents out for free. We're doing the next tierage of educational helping once we've done the testing for these free documents that have come out with regards to the trust, servant, master, slavery, principle, governance, instruments, management, courts. What we did with Sovereign B was the ending of the level 1 of the what we call it, the Sovereign Masters Guild educational workshop. That has been done and it's completed. We're going to do some exclusive hangouts via splspro.com in some forums, and we're going to invite all of those that have taken the documents to come on And then afterwards, we're going to do a separate one with YouTube and the ones that aren't on the .com, because our obligations are to our private family first and to the public second. I'm sorry, if you choose to remain in the general public, you see the public liabilities and the dangers and attacks that you will face, your property will face, and you will have no recourse other than to raise a flare, start screaming and shouting, losing the plot, anxiety, panic, anger, rash decisions, losing control, temporary insanity, non-compos mentis, no will and last testament in place. Do you see where we're going with you? We love you, we care for you. You're in the public. If you haven't joined our .com, doesn't matter to me. I'm going to still be there, and it does matter. I'm just saying it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, because we're going where we're going with or without, you know, the rest and the shills and the haters and the naysayers and the umming and the ahras. There's a mission, there's a job. Those that can will do it. You don't have to come and join us. You can go and join anybody you so choose. And yeah, we are looking to ever more increase and protect, because as I'm showing you by these news reports, the world is insane. All right, there are princesses out there that are bloody men, okay, and they are men dressed up as women, and they are down as princesses. The realm is upside down. As below, so above. As above, so below is as I see it, but it should be as above, so below as above. 69. Switcheroony, what's happening with magnetic shifts and 2020 vision. I'm trying to keep it relevant. It is all relevant. Josh should be coming to see Man next week with Michelle X and his little X, we'll call that lad. So I'm looking forward to that. We've got news, more news, but I need to structure and keep this one relevant because I've overloaded you. You've gone past your saturation point. And life, games, it's true. Ask Smithy. Ask us on Saturday when we're back. Oh, Sunday, sorry, Sunday. When we're back doing the hangout approximately from 8 p.m. Please research, look at Professor Werner. I think I've put him on the .com homepages. You don't have to be a member to look at the stories and read them on the front pages of splspro.com. And yes, we have this. We've got this locked down. We're in all areas, and we're quite competent with all of them. We're not experts, and we're not know-it-alls. We're not criminals, and you know, we've got to do this, because if we don't, there's no one else that can or will. And when it gets done legally, you see what happens there. Do you see indeed? The trust is all we have. There is no trust. We're making it now. Going to the comments, taking a breath. Oh, good Lord, I'm excited about what's going to be on here. Hopefully it's casted and I haven't been cut off, or I will be annoyed. I will actually cry. It still says live. Yes, 22. Thank you to the 22. Go to live chat, that would help. Comment, Vendetta, Mark, that's what I got to, didn't I, before? Andrew, Norman, did David answer to Mr. when he was called into the courtroom? Did David answer to Mr. when he was called into the courtroom? He was, which one, the David that was helping, or did I? I did when I had a barrister before I knew this, Norman. Yes, I've answered to Mr. in relation to obtaining access to my property through a barrister in a high court. The David that was with Kevin will have answered to Mr. as well, yes. Well done, Eric. Peace and love to you there, right there. I had to step in. You had to step in. Yes, you probably did have to step in then, yeah, to help your son and his partner keep their child out of the grips of the SS. So, SS, that makes me think of the Germans, but also I know you mean social security. Albert's in the house. Chin Chin. Mickey the Man Finn. He's now one of my favourite DJ names of all time. We live as one family. Search YouTube, Mickey Finn, Some Justice, and hear one of the first vinyls man ever bought, about 12, following Dreamscape, Helter Skelter, Progress, yeah, the Q Club, Birmingham, Fantasia, Mickey Finn, nice to see you. Back to Eric. My queen and I like that, brother. Well said. Adopted a son in the above comment from a member of my queen's fam. Drugs, unfortunately, and had suffered detachment issues. He constantly needs. We are good at counselling. We can do counselling. This is another thing. What you can do counselling. Not just you, Eric, and me. Everybody. We've got so much to offer and so much to set up that is missing. There is massive deficits in the. Calm down, David. There is massive deficits in the services that these off icers and agents are providing. Yes, and we need to get on this, and we can do it better. And yes, reading that is making my heart smile. Constantly needs reassuring he's loved. Oh wow, we're good at that. We say love all the time. Looks, sorry, not been in touch yet. I had a major issues. Someone called me in Liverpool today. Come up when I answered with hello. Strange. P9, yes, sister. Let he without sin cast the first stone. That's what I'm saying, Eric. You see, we're all too quick to judge, aren't we? All very judgmental and that. Oh, yes. Something, you loads of good vibes. Sending. Sorry, I'm dyslexic and tired, and it's tiny text. My 3 enemies. Together. Thank you, Lisa. Chrissy, brothers, sisters, one day we will be free. Wait, vinyl track name would be All Join Hands, CC Rogers. Please search again after Mickey Finn, Some Justice. It's what ex-DJs have. It's like, you see, when I realised I could remember vinyls and tracks and edits and mixes and rave and dance and reggae and hip-hop, and I was putting them together in my head and mixing them and stuff. It was like a food blender of music and audio, phonic, Phoenician mixing, you know, phonetical creation of genres and BPMs and stuff. And yeah, that's powerful words. That is, you know, that tune, I'm sure it is by CC. You got CC Peniston, haven't you? Finally, and because I used to, a dyslexic man, used to always put the wrong track on. Imagine thinking you're going to play. That's another thing. Wow. Yeah, don't be a dyslexic DJ drinking. Imagine that, and you put the wrong vinyl on, and by the time the needle has hit the record and it crosses over, when you're being cheeky and you don't check it because you're just, you know, running out of time, and that fellow DJs, you know what I mean, chatting, looking about, you know, doing stuff. I've got last 3 seconds, you know, 10 seconds at track, grab a vinyl, skim through, I've got that, bosh, read it wrong, put it on, wrong tracks played, ruined it all. But yeah, thank you for that. I've gone on a tangent, but we need to energize after such a somber cast. I've sent my queen to Lizzo and PM. Vendetta. Okay. You've sent your queen to Lizzo and PM. I think you mean to say you've sent some documents to the Queen and the Prime Minister. Hey. Thank you, P9. FPV. More work up. Outstanding. Real world. Nice one. I've got to talk to UF about, and the crew. I'm doing some diligence and discovery. That map you've got from the Nazca lines with the square, the circle, and the 3, 6, 9, 12 bunched in 3 with the dots on. I believe now that they could be possible months. 3, 6, 9, 12. The 4 corners of that. We'll talk on the different, you know, on that, on your. We'll link up. I want to chat, F and fam that's on that tip, Lisa. So appreciate your time and yours, and I'm just reporting back. I'm repeating what I've heard and adding my comments and the interjection of what should and how it is, what the risks are, and why we need to pull our finger out. You trust me, I know you do. I trust you. I've never met you. That's how it works. And then when you break that, that's when we deal with you. But until you break that, we're all good. We don't need signatures. We go on our word. Our words are our bonds. You know, we go in special appearances. We notice this military that's at hand. All right, I'm not happy about how we're bringing it to you and what we're bringing, but the things that we can bring are truly incredible. So we need a hangout, and we need to chat with others that are in social. Those names that I've dropped, I need that researching and bringing back and utilising back to us, and we need to find out benefactors, charities, We don't need charities. FC UK them. We need trusts. We need private. We need on the land. We need notices. We need to be litigants in person. We need to be making claims. We need to be reserving rights. We need to be standing tall, shoulder to shoulder, proud, self-governing, whether you want to be sovereign, whether you want to be a free man, whether you want to be a light worker, whether you want to be a rainbow and indigo, a rainbow warrior, indigo light worker that's sovereign. God damn, we'll have you all, whether you're white, black, short, fat, you know, disabled, abled, less abled, intuitive, non-intuitive, experienced, non-experienced, loving, yeah, got issues, need counselling, health advice, wealth. We have, this family has it all. You have it all. All we would like to do is say enough of the fighting, enough of the egos, enough of the, oh, but I had it first, and this exposure. Linda Moulton, how? Wow, I can't even get into that. David Wilcox, ooh, isn't that, ooh, did you suit you, sir? This week, I've mostly been living on backstabbing politics of YouTube. It's absolutely, this time, there's so much happening. Protect yourselves, be careful, all right, ever vigilant. Say your prayers, all right. We're living on a prayer. Oh, yeah, we are halfway there, as he said. Take my hand, all right, living on a prayer. Madonna, like a prayer, it will take you there. So the game, don't run away, protect, love, care, meet us back on some hangouts. Know that I will return all of the emails. There is a struggle here. We are sinking and we're staying afloat, but we are bailing a little bit. So yeah, Kevin, David, Andy, Josh and Greg are the physical five. There is room for more, and we are getting on this. So I'm disgusted. Ultimately, I'm dismayed. I have a heavy heart, but I'm hopeful for the future, and we have technologies, language, process, actions, and I think we are kicking arse for the Lord. So let's step it up and pull together, give peace and love. It is now time to cook for my queen, Rat Pack. Standing in the corner. Stop it, you badasses. Are we having a rave up or what? Am I getting these 1210 Mark 5s out, and are you lot bringing your gear down? And are we having some kind of a summer knees up mother brain or what? Yes, Josh and I are working on that. More news coming back on the events page of splspro.com. So whilst you're dropping these little names and that, think of summertime raving, all right? Are they the 12 gates, Dave? Yup. They are the 12 gates, the months. I'm going to take a break in a bit, yes, and we will chat in the next few days. As you can see, I'm overwhelmed and I don't have much time to have fun, and this side of it is the fun side. Your side is is fun to me, you know, as well. So let's do this, brother. Look, our hangout, AMP, chat and chill. I will do. I have on purposely been ignoring and silencing all of these things because I have too much on and I'm focusing. But yes, brother, indeedy. Could you get a message to Josh X for me? Ask him to please answer my text message. Oh, wow. Of course I will, hon. I speak to him daily, and if he hasn't answered, there must be a good reason. He's not particularly ignorant. I know that. So yes, cool pics, sister. I will give him a nudge. Looks nice one for that collection of sprightly icons of happiness, love. As always, thank you. Yes, Mark, thank you. We're meeting up soon. The words were from Promised Land by, there we go, Promised Land. That's CC Rogers. All right, Joe Smooth. Oh, Chrissy, I've got that on vinyl, brother. I'm sure on the video on the channel there's a video of me mixing and I'd put that on, but so I've got it on white label as well. It's very crackly, it does need a clean. Classic. One of the next to Swing 52, Colour of My Skin, or the D'Ambrosio mix of Blackout All Stars, I Like It Like That, Yeah Baby. Those three tracks, Joe Smooth, Promised Land, Swing 52, Colour of My Skin, but I forget the mix on that one. It has been a good 25 years, to be fair, fam. And then the third one that I've instantly forgotten as well, that I just said. Thank you very much, one and all. Let's do this. Dirty Cash. Super Leeds drops in with a Dirty Cash. Oh, he takes it. Boom Shanka. What we call this then, old school vinyl politics. Super Leeds comes in and steals it from the fam. 10 sovereign points. But I do believe you got that from my video the other day that I may have helped inspire. So I'll take some of that off you, Super. Started my day with the rut, soon got going after Babylon's burning. Oh, you are a soulful musical lot. Singers, music, it's important. Emotions, vibrations, stay high, all right? High priests are high for a reason. Mushroom heads, fish heads, yes, high priests, highness, high vibration, high energy, hyperactivity. Sorry, it takes someone like me to be able to deliver and cognize and comprise, and I know it's fast, I know it's not as professional as it could be, but the intent is there. Smith is coming on at the weekend, I do believe, possibly Sunday, I've got to confirm, and maybe Josh should be up next week with me. We're doing some presentations and chats. P9, I'll give him a message after I end this cast in a minute, and Kev's coming on Sunday. Kev's actually preparing. I think it's first time ever. Kev, if you catch this, I love you, baby, but I think it's the first time that he's ever done this. He's got giddy. He's got very giddy. We love you, Kev. We can't say enough good about you. Brother Andy, again, two excellent souls there. Josh joining us. We're strengthening up. And yeah, G-Star in the back there doing the tech stuff. So with yours truly, me, very happy, very proud. We need to now keep pushing, keep moving forward. Professor Werner, Michaels, wow, again, with what's gone on RT, please see the homepages and follow them links, and the links in the description. You're about to get your socks blown off. A bit like the payday loan system. No, not the payday loans, where the PPI, and this says you get your money back with your PPI. I can't see the United Kingdom and the financial industry saying anybody with a mortgage is entitled to get it back. But if you allocate your claims, construct and articulate your claims to the relevant and the right people, corporations, departments, let me think of the word again, chiefs in essence, but not chiefs as in the natural chiefs, the war chiefs, all right, the chief of staff, the chief executives. Yes, look at this word and the terminology. The generals, the secretaries, the chiefs. It's the military we're in. We've got to let these guys know. We ain't in no military. So yeah, thank you all. What we got on the comments. Would you like to see the Pope on the end of a rope? Do you think he's a fool? No, Eric, I wish no harm to any man, but Italian family, I've got Greek, Irish, Italian, English in the blood. We're all family, but that's my direct, human outlay. What? I just said human. Man's outlay. Scratch human. I'm no monster. At ease, soldiers. But no, I don't want anybody to die. I don't want to see anybody on the rope. This is what you see again. Turn the other cheek. But then again, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth. So that's how we should be, So by that respect, yeah, we don't take a life, but we hard one, a very, very hard one. It would be better not to. Yeah, but I could see how you would want to feel like, so much blood has been spilled. It's a bit like rape. Sorry, but we're supposed to be ending. Wow. It's a bit like rape. No, sorry for anybody that's been in this field and had it done, but some forgive, all right? Some do get attacked, and this lady that was pregnant, you'll find out in that story, this is why rape's in my mind, because while she was in France she went running away from the United Kingdom being pregnant, she actually got sexually abused by a man out there that took her when she was trying to escape that horrible place in France, running from the United Kingdom. So, not this lady in this instance, but some get attacked and they forgive their attackers, they're ones that commit it, and they turn the other cheek. And I think that's amazingly strong. Murder, not just rape, any kind of attack, to be fair, that is on your rights, attack of your rights. Because when someone attacks your rights, you see, your rights end where others begin. And when others attack you, they forfeit their rights to certain things. I'll summarise it as, because they've attacked you, you see. So under common law breaches, and then the 10 commandments of, universal law, it's a big thing. They go and forgive. How did he forgive and turn the other cheek? Truly, truly honourable, but not everyone can do that. I'd say put them all on an island, all right? Get an island. Someone love their island so much in their private property. Well, get them all on an island. Or as I've said before, the first man to be born on the Vatican, actually on that land, will own the realm, because if we're all bonded and based there, as we've put out, and it seems amongst the land registry and other places, then if you have a man born on there, a girl or a boy born on the waters of his mother's, or LO natural, why? Because we're worth it. It would then what? There's no one ever been born on that separate nation landmass. There was, that'd really flummox it. The woman that could, if we could get a sovereign woman to that landmass, do that, and that'd really piss him off. Not have to hang him. So right then, this lad or lass here is now the heir to everything, and this sovereign, they belong to us. That's how we take it. But shh, keep that quiet. Eric, I hope that answers your question. Lux, Able Danger live stream just started. Yeah, we're running over. I've got to go. That's exactly why. And peace and love. Forgiveness is the better part of valor. Beautiful, Eric. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going. Let's go and watch Able. Is Andy on? I don't even know what day it is, or if he is. I haven't spoke to him for a while. So we'll go and say, yeah, it's dinner time for me. Thank you all. Much love. Please share. Hello to new scribes, Farmerland. Please press the thumbs up if you think this is worthy. I hope you do. And important enough, please share. Get the subscribe hit. Look at me getting professional now, eh? It's taken me, what, 5 years? And thank you very much. Peace and love. I'll be back soon with the boys. We're still looking for some women, some alpha females. And yeah, let me know. All right. Thank you. Ciao, bello.